Thank you.
"2025 last night. A murder occurred in a remote part of this swamp. A small tourist attraction deep within the heart of the marshes.
Hold on. A tourist attraction? Here? I don't get it. Why would anyone come here by choice?
I've explained this already. This area is famous.
Famous.
There's
All
a lot
I
of
know is
indie
that some
voice actors
idiot
in
thought
this.
They saw an alien
Egoraptor's in
100
this.
years ago.
Get your facts straight for once. We're talking about a creature that's lived in this swamp for over 60 years.
Okay, so it's a 60-year-old alien. I still don't see why it matters.
If it matters to anyone, it's you.
Actually, I think this
That
is
creature
Egoraptor.
is our prime suspect.
The murder suspect?
That's right. This is no Loch Ness monster. You need to be taking this seriously.
No, look, come on. How am I supposed to arrest something that might not exist?
We've always enjoyed a challenge before. You can start by reading this.
Our case file? Heh, there's not a lot of it, is there?
As usual, we only know the bare essentials at this point.
Okay. Richard Remington, the founder of the tourist attraction Boggy's Bog, was found dead outside his house office at 8:45 last night. Exact cause of death is unknown. 3 small wounds to the chest suggest an attack from a clawed creature. Slime around the wound and footprints around the scene suggest that the culprit was Boggy, the legendary swamp creature. Any of the 7 other people present in the swamp last night could hold vital information. Okay. Page 2. Okay.
Our murder victim, Richard Remington, he was in charge of this, tourist attraction. Boggy's Bog? What a name.
Boggy is the name of our creature. Well, nowadays it is.
You mean that stupid cartoon character? I've heard of him. That thing is our murder suspect?
There's more to Boggy than the cartoon character, I promise you. This is the place it all began. You'll find out soon enough.
Chapter 1, A Swamp Full of Secrets. Start.
Your case file is in the top right. You can look at your clues and suspect profiles in here. When you've collected some, of course. I'll stay and guard our boat, so if you're confused, come back here and I'll help you.
Okay. Swamp deck.
That's where I need to go. I can switch to walk mode with the button on the bottom right. Oh, and if I'm feeling confident, I can turn off those sparkly hit icons in the options menu.
Oh! Wow, you didn't get lost yet.
No, I only just got here. Who are you?
You don't remember. Of course, you're not great at remembering. I should be offended, though.
I've never seen it before. You're that weird girl from the fairground. I remember you, but I'm been trying to forget. What fairground? Could this be a reference to an older game? I've never seen you
I've
before.
never seen you before.
Saw your hat blow through here already. You must be slow, if it wouldn't even wait for you.
Well, if you'll let me, I'd better go after it. You can wait here and
You'll
behave.
get lost. I would never forgive myself if I let you go through without the map.
You have a map of the swamp?
Not anymore. I'm giving it to you.
You should really stay here. It's
Yes,
dangerous.
sirree, Bob.
There's been a murder. Although I suppose you know all about it already?
They're saying it was the creature.
The
But
creature?
it can't be him. He doesn't seem like a killing sort of creature. Nope. He's a different sort of creature.
Wait, what do you mean? If you... she disappeared.
What?
I might pretend I imagined her. Is an opportunity for a photographic memento. The two characters are an explorer and Boggy himself. Are they fighting? The fence that seems to surround this entire area is an old statue of Boggy. His feet are hidden in a bucket of murky water. I still don't quite understand why we have a tourist attraction here. Don't forget to use walk mode to move around.
I know.
Just my luck, the gate's closed. Looks like I can move these metal latches around. I should just have to slide at least one of them out of the bottom of the lock. Then I'll be able to get through this gate. Probably.
Oh, it's a little puzzle.
Hey,
Oh, I accidentally skipped that.
this is the tourist attraction? The whole thing just doesn't make sense to me. Let's do some thinking. Drag any two stray thoughts into those slots at the bottom. And flick through the connecting statements in between to make a sentence. Tap the confirm button to try it out. I just have to focus my thoughts and reach a conclusion. Boggy's Bog seems like the middle of nowhere.
My beard is too big for that little girl to murder someone.
My beard is way too big for that little girl to murder someone. What is that supposed to mean?
Okay. The murderer. That little girl is too stupid for the murder to murder someone.
That little girl is too stupid for the murder to murder someone. I'm losing my mind here.
I'm losing my mind here. The swamp is isn't warm enough too far remote for a tourist attraction to make money.
The swamp is far too remote for the tourist attraction to make any money. It's really bugging me. What's the story behind this place? It's a fork in the road. How non-linear. There's a hollow part of the tree right at the front, but it's too dark to see inside. Those trees are more dense. It's like a forest back there.
Museum or cave? I think we go to the
I should
cave.
visit the crime scene before I do anything else. I think Officer James said it was to the west.
Okay. Like I said, I'm going to the museum.
These flower petals seem a little out of place lying on the ground over there. These flower... a rather prominent tree. It's hard to... I should visit the crime scene before I do anything. I think Officer James...
Okay. So crime scene.
There's a narrow path here leading up that hill and through the trees. It doesn't look inviting. I'm not sure it's part of the tourist attraction. I should visit the crime... I think I'll...
Okay, it's to the west, so... You made it sound like I shouldn't go through there.
There are bizarre footprints with 3 toes leading up to the office door. And back down into those reeds by the water. There are bizarre... and back... So, this is where they found Remington's body.
Remington. Okay. Richard Remington found. Okay, saw that. Said that already. Said that already. Map of the tourist attraction Boggy's Bog, generously donated by the mysterious little girl at the entrance. When I'm exploring the swamp, I can access the map from the map button on the corner. Next.
There's an open window above Remington's body. One of the curtains is ripped and hanging on the outside. I can't get in here without a key. And I don't feel like kicking the door down.
What?
Maybe if I get desperate later on. I can't get... maybe... I don't like...
You're confused? Why are you confused, Josh?
I don't like... I can't get it. Maybe if I get... maybe...
It's a murder mystery, Josh. You ever heard of Detective Grimoire? He's
some suspects.
It's this fashionably late. It's a famous series that was on Newgrounds. So like this game was made by like a passion project of the guy, and it's voiced by a bunch of people in the Newgrounds community, and it's like done by the art same way. This is like their first full game, so this is really interesting to me.
Let's get this investigation started. Alright, let's see. Another suspect for my notebook.
That's a little rude.
No, I'm sorry. Did I say that bit out loud?
Maybe not. Maybe I can hear your thoughts.
So would you be able to answer my questions before I asked you?
Would you be able to question my answers before I tell you?
I could try.
I'm Bobby Burl, professional cameraman. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Detective Grimoire. I'm here to investigate last night's murder. Obviously.
Grimoire. Strange. Is that your first name?
It's my 23rd name, but it's the one I like the best. What first name? What's a first name? It's my second name. Detective is my first name. I like this one.
It's my second name. Detective is my first name.
Okay, your job.
So you already told me what you do, but now, why would a cameraman be working here?
I go where I'm needed. Vincent wanted to come to the swamp, and I was happy to help.
Vincent Vanderpeer. You mean that man standing on that rock over there?
That's right. I've worked with him for many years.
Is he your boss?
Oh, I don't know about that. We work together. He's tried to film here before, but he never got permission until about a week ago.
Oh, really? But why did you want to come here in the first place?
If you're looking for a reason to write down in your notebook, I'm sure he can tell you if you ask him. I'm just the guy who carries around the camera.
You always carry that camera with you?
Most of the time.
You were here yesterday, I presume? Last night?
Yes, I was.
Here, in this clearing?
No, I was over at the cafe getting something to eat. Richard Remington was there too.
Remington? You saw him last night? Just before the murder?
That's right, I saw him. He left the cafe looking...
And I murdered
I
him!
offered to help, but he just wanted to go back to his office. He looked like he had a lot on his mind.
He was ill yesterday?
Perhaps it was something he ate.
Present a clue. The
What is
police
it?
file.
Some evidence from last night's murder?
Present a profile.
You should ask someone else.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Yes, do you have a message for me?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Then why are you here? I'm incredibly busy.
I'm incredibly wealthy.
Who are you, anyway?
What a question. You're serious? I am Vincent Van der Peer,
The famous movie director?
the artist, the visionary, the auteur.
Yes.
I'm a man of many talents.
Money. Let's hope you have a talent for answering my questions. That's a very talented beard you've got, at least. I heard your work was going downhill lately. I don't want to get confrontational just yet, or do I?
I heard your work was going downhill lately.
You're in my light. Could you take a few steps back, please?
But then I'd be too far away to talk to you.
I know.
Can anyone just walk in here and start filming?
Can anyone just... My eyebrows? A ghost? More options. Only recently got permission. Vanderpeer only got permission from Richard Remington.
Vincent Van der Peer only recently got permission from Richard Remington to film here in the swamp. I wonder if Mr. Van der Peer has been breaking rules. Or maybe he'll have an excuse.
Wasn't given permission to film on the swamp.
What's a famous guy like you doing in a place like this?
Being
Quite,
rich.
quite. I'm sure you're thinking, why doesn't he send an assistant? But that's not the way this director works.
But what are you doing?
I'm feeling, I'm experiencing,
feeling you,
I'm
Joanna.
discovering This area, the history, the atmosphere, it's the perfect setting for my next film.
I'll
I'm on a
call
scouting
it
mission to get
pretentious.
to know this swamp before I begin work on the latest masterpiece in a string of masterpieces.
You're making a movie about Boggy. About the swamp creature?
Of course. He's a fascinating individual, isn't he? So mysterious.
No idea. I haven't met him yet. Is that your cameraman over there?
Yes, that's right. Bobby Burl, my faithful right-hand man. Well, faithful enough, you know.
You don't like Let's Play
No,
Detective
I
Grimoire?
don't know.
He's an expert cameraman. Really knows his trade, of course. But he gets a bit muddled when it comes to priorities.
Like how? You mean he's lazy? He doesn't look lazy. He looks a bit scary.
Oh no, nothing of the sort. He just has a little hobby that sometimes distracts him from his work.
A little
I wouldn't want
hobby.
anyone else shooting for me.
Alright, what about last
Were
night?
you working yesterday? Here in the swamp, I mean?
Indeed, I was working very
Indeed
hard.
I
Well
was.
into the night.
Hard work, is it? Getting to know the swamp?
You jest. But yesterday I was getting even more involved than usual. Yes, difficult to comprehend, I know.
So what kind of work were you doing?
Well, I was, unable to find my faithful cameraman last night. He had hidden himself quite completely from
Really?
view.
Bobby Burrow, right? Did you need him to film for you?
Always. But being a resourceful type of man, I stepped up and took on the responsibility myself. I was filming in this exact area, in fact.
You were filming? Last night? Here?
Yes, at the time of the murder, I believe. But wait, I know what you're thinking. Now, don't forget, I'm not here to shoot some experimental documentary. I have no interest in late-night surveillance footage.
Did you see anything at all? What is it you were filming?
The water. I was filming the water. It's a fascinating subject, one that has me captivated to
Okay.
the point where
So, you didn't see anything useful? Got excited there for a minute.
nothing useful to you, my good.
Wait, if he was just filming the water,
There
he could
are
just
some
use a
odd
tripod.
sounds on the audio track. Nothing but wild animals going about their nighttime rituals, I'm sure.
Is there something I should ask the cameraman?
Bobby Burrow. Told me that. I lost my hat. Came to swamp in first place.
Vincent Vanderpeer told me that Bobby Burrell was so useless. Maybe I just need to change one thing. Maybe Bobby Burrell needs to do a little explaining.
Lie to me.
Bobby Burrell lied to me because Vincent Vanderpeer was so useless. What is that supposed to...
Listen.
Vincent Vanderpeer doesn't explain why Bobby Burrell was nowhere to be found last night. Maybe I just need to change... Vincent Vanderpeer doesn't explain why Bobby Burrell came to the swamp in the first place. I'm losing my mind. Vanderpeer told me something about his cameraman. Vincent Vanderpeer told me that
but here
Bobby
he said that
Burrell
clearly.
was
Why is that a
nowhere to be
clue?
found last night. Simple enough. What was Mr. Burrell doing last night that meant he couldn't help out his boss?
Present a clue.
I don't know if it's any use to you at all. I'll film again tonight and try to get a version without all those bizarre noises in the background. If you want an autograph, a plain sheet of paper will suffice, thank you. I don't really have time to be looking...
Okay. Footage recorded last night at the exact time of the murder, filmed by Vincent Vanderpeer in the clearing in the west side of the swamp near the crime. There is nothing to see but various clues that can be heard in the audio track. Listen to an order. Oh! Oh!